What's up, y'all? Welcome back into the LA. Excuse me. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the LA Sports Brotherhood. It's me, Brian, here with my brother Matthew. We're back with some more Lakers off-season content. There's a lot of stuff kind of becoming more than rumors almost. Like we've had JJ Redick, allegedly his choice of assistant coaches leak, which we'll make an entire new video for that because I have a lot to say about that. But that all kind of rolls into this singular question that the Lakers front office has in mind, Laker fans have in mind, and it's, can the Lakers make one more run? I doubt we're going to be able to open a window of contention with LeBron still here for multiple years. So I think, and I also think the front office thinks, that we're trying this upcoming season as the last hurrah. So with that being said, Matt, looking at the team, or the state of our franchise, the assets we have, what do you feel? Do you think we can make in one final push?
Yeah, absolutely, I do. I think maybe there's a little bias, but I think realistically, we can play with the best teams in the league. And last season, now that it's over, I think we can all say it was a flat out disappointment. I truly believe in 2023, the 2022-23 season, we ended up as the second best team in the entire world. And I really believe that because you can't tell me we couldn't have beat the Heat. The Celtics lost to the Heat. We were in that Final Four. I think we were better than both these teams, and we lost to the champs of that year. So a lot of expectations coming into this past season, and it was very underwhelming. We won the in-season tournament, but we couldn't really find a starting lineup. Our coach was fired, and our gentlemen swept in the first round to the same team. So where do we go from here? It's like you said, one final run. I do think we can because bottom line, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. This offseason is going to be let's get the perfect team surrounding them. I thought the past two teams were actually really good teams surrounding them, but as we know, D'Lo, Reeves, a lot of these guys underperformed. So overall, I think we're in a good spot. LeBron James, it's looking like he's going to opt out. Let's just, for the sake of the video, I guess we can ask each other this. Let's assume I think he's going to come back. Let's assume he comes back.
Yep.
You have two of the best players in the world. You have some assets to trade. You have contracts to trade, and there's names out there. You're looking for a new head coach. I think you are really on the right track to make this final run.
Yeah, I I think looking at the tangible assets they have, or I suppose it's not tangible. Your draft picks are tangible, but just the assets that they have. A lot of teams, a lot of fans of teams. Well, first of all, a lot of fans don't know anything of the Lakers and otherwise. But the assumption is that the Lakers don't have picks to trade. Like every single time a star has been on the market since LeBron has been a Laker, or frankly, since the beginning of time. But Laker fans are like, oh, he's gonna be a Laker. Oh, how can the Lakers get him? And all the time, fans are like, oh, you think, oh, freaking THC in a first, you think that's gonna get him? Whatever. And they're trying to say that again about guys like Spida or even Trey Young, but they don't realize that the Lakers have very legitimate assets. They have three future first round picks, and they have multiple swaps. They have, I think, seven tradable second round picks. They have Jalen Hood-Schifino, which Laker fans will laugh at, but he is a first round pick from last year. Where a team, because the Lakers also aren't respected as a development player, so maybe they value him and think they could develop him. So that's, I'll even count JHS as like a second round value, even though he's not, just to be fair. So that's eight second round value players, three first round picks, three pick swaps, and then you got contracts for guys that are like more or less productive players. Like Rui Hachimura is a very solid contract for a guy that we've seen can be good, just probably not in the way that the Lakers need right now. If D'Lo opts in, then it's a super tradable contract. It's 18 million expiring. We have Austin Reeves if you want. Gabe Vincent's not a bad contract. We have a lot of stuff. It's not high end crazy. If the first round picks are unprotected, then they actually are. But still, the point is that unlike before, where we were thinking about trading Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, and trading basically every tradable first round pick we had for the next for the foreseeable future, we have flexibility for the first time in a long time. It's just not cap flexibility; it's trade flexibility. So yeah, I think we are in a position to be able to make a good move. I'm kind of skirting around it and not being definitive because I don't know the route they're gonna go. Honestly, it really hinges on D'Lo right now, and if he opts in, then I think the Lakers' offseason plans have a very high ceiling because we have a lot. We can do a lot with D'Lo, and 18 million expiring, super easy to trade. If he opts out, then really we're limited with what we can do. And I hate that the offseason hinges on him. I hate that this whole concept of a final run hinges on D'Lo. But to me, that's kind of what I'm seeing. Sorry to take it there, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. We have this opportunity, but it hinges on one guy's decision, kind of. So I don't know what you want to go with there, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I agree about the deal take. I think opportunity honestly is the perfect word that I would use because it's not we are in a great place like we have our team, let's run it back. It's we're in a good place because we have our stars and we have the ability, the opportunity to make these moves because we have the assets of players, of or young players, of contracts and picks like you just mentioned. So it is all on the front office. We gotta hire a coach. Let's hope we get a good coach, and then we gotta play it right because we played it wrong with the Westbrook trade. That set us back, and people still complain about that. We've recovered since then. We've made a Western Conference Finals run. We put together a good team. Just let it be in the
Yeah.
past. Stop. Danny Green is on ESPN for God's sakes. We couldn't have kept that team this long.
Yeah.
Stop bringing up the 2020 team. Dwight is retired. Danny Green's retired. Bradley, I don't know what he's doing. Those guys are all old. But yeah, it's all right in front of us. We have the assets to go make a trade. So with that being said, we got to make the right move. We can't make the Westbrook move, which was the wrong move. So who I'll say this: we have Reeves, we have Rui. Okay, take LeBron AD. Then we have good players. Then we have kind of expendable like vet minimum players. Is there any one of that starter like good group? Let's say Rui, Reeves, Vando, D'Lo, if he opts in, Vincent. Is there any one of those where you put your foot down and say no, they have to stay?
In a weird way, it's Vando, but only because he wouldn't bring back any value. Like his name and his status as a player doesn't carry trade value in the league to me. If it did, he wouldn't have just been a throw in for in the Russ trade. Cause that's kind of what he was. I love him. We both love him. Like every Laker fan loves him, and we really felt everything that he brings that it was just missing the entire season. Like I go back and watch highlights from the Western Conference Finals run season, and I just see him running over like everything. It's just so different. But we know who Vando is. Obviously Reeves is the best player, and I'm close to saying untouchable for Reeves as well. It's just if you can get Spida, I don't want Reeves to be the thing that holds it up. But that's basically the level of move that would require for me, truthfully. Like Donovan Mitchell is like the lowest level of player that I'll accept for a Reeves trade. Because otherwise, it's just a lateral move. Like we talked about this with Dejounte Murray and a couple times actually. The way they produce, the way they get their buckets, and the fact that Murray isn't an engaged defender anymore, like that's a lateral move to me. So yeah, Reeves is very close to second. Jared Vanderbilt, in the same way that I don't want Reeves to hold up a trade like that, I wouldn't want Vando to hold up a trade. It's just that there's no he would be traded for his contract, the like his money. And I would get rid of Gabe Vincent before that pretty quickly. Vando has a place on this team. Frankly, I think it might be a starting place on this team, if especially if Rui gets moved. So yeah, he needs to be traded at least first round value to me. Like his inclusion needs to be equal to a first round pick, and that's never gonna happen. So yeah, I don't want him to be moved, honestly.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the general point that we have is that this we are in a good spot. We have the assets. We we would not be surprised if LeBron's holding the trophy up at the end of the year because we have LeBron and AD. We're the Lakers. If you put a good team around them, they could easily win a championship. So generally, we are in a good place. There's been two names floating around: Trey Young, Donovan Mitchell. So last thing I'll ask you is there do I think in recent times there's been like a few guys where it's like if you get them you're golden, if not you're screwed. So what I'll ask is if we start the season off in October and the moves we made didn't involve Trey Young, Donovan Mitchell. Those two guys aren't Lakers. Do you think there's a roster that can be put together that you would genuinely feel good about winning the championship, not just being a good team, not a contender, being 1 through 5 seed and winning a championship?
Realistically, I don't think so. I'm sure I mean, there's always a surprise, like the summer that Katie and Kyrie both asked for trades. None of that was expected. So like, barring that type of scenario, I don't think so. There's a This is super hypothetical, like incredibly hypothetical. Take everything with a grain of salt. But there have been rumors floating around that Jimmy Butler may have played his last game with Miami. That type of move, like the Lakers going in for Jimmy Butler and the Heat being like, "Oh, I could use Rui Hachimura and D'Angelo Russell. Go ahead, yeah, we'll trade him for that in a first round pick." I don't know. That's the type of move that I feel like if it's not Spida and Trey Young, the Lakers will be kind of desperate and go for that. And I think that could cripple the Lakers. Honestly, I love Jimmy Butler, and again, super hypothetical, but just like that genre of move where it's we couldn't get the young ascending all-star superstar type, so we're getting the over the hill, although very good, but like old and breaking down more and more each season guy that is going to make $70 million or like 40% of the cap or whatever his extension was, just because it's, I mean, it'll be Russell Westbrook again, except Jimmy is significantly better than Russ, but just like that concept. And I'm a little scared of that. So for me, I honestly, I don't think there is a version of the Lakers roster that is realistically attained with the assets they have and all the contracts that is like a genuine contender in my eyes. Well, like a outright contender without a Spida and to a lesser extent Trey Young. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, yeah, I agree because I think those are the guys that you really get an upgrade. Any lateral move, you're sent home by the Nuggets again because it happened 2 years in a row. So you can't go laterally. We talked kind of about Garland's maybe a slight upgrade or lateral move to Russell. I think it has to be something that changes this team in a good way. Obviously, because if you lose twice, that needs to change. So you get a couple of nice pieces, and you're like, oh, and you kind of talk yourself into, oh, well, last year this happened. If we had him, never know. I think it would. There's no one like there's no few role players where you get two of them that I think I can genuinely be confident like we are a top contender. I think it has to involve one of those two star guards, and maybe someone else comes on the market.
Yeah. Look, the what this is the what I'll say to refute, I guess, both of our points, but like the point I was making before. If you gave me this exact same roster, but switched D'Angelo Russell with a point guard that will maintain his production in the playoffs, maybe I would feel differently. But I just don't know who that point guard is, so that's why I'm like, I can't see it. I kind of want Rui gone. Oh, I don't want Rui gone. I think Rui's contract needs to be used to trade. And but yeah, it's like it's really just D'Lo and Rui to me because I trust LeBron and AD are obvious. I trust Reeves. He struggled, but he gave more on defense than people realize. Like Jamal Murray, he did what Jamal Murray always does against the Lakers down the stretch, but he wasn't shooting well. It was a tough series for him. He was very frustrated visibly, and that's without like Reeves was doing real work. Gabe Vincent, he's barely even exists on this team. So it's like we have two positions that I think dictate the postseason success of this team, and they're the two hardest to fill. It's a tall offensive wing that's big, and a like a prolific scoring, assist, playmaking point guard. You don't just get those guys, so that's why I think we're both saying that we really need like a major upgrade at the guard position for to make up for all that stuff.
Yeah, that's where I'm at fully. Just that guard position. I've seen too many terrible 3-point attempts, too many AD not getting the ball in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter needs to change. This starts with the guard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that'll do it for this video. I want to say we're going to be doing, like we mentioned, general assets and stuff. We are going to take this next part of the off season and kind of go player by player and assess, kind of do exit interviews type of thing. So yeah, be prepared for a lot of stuff to come out. Honestly, I think we're getting in a nice groove. And the Lakers offseason is really going to pick up because if it is JJ Redick, they're going to announce it as soon as the NBA Finals is over because they don't want to mess with his schedule or something stupid. I don't know. That's kind of a circus right now, and we're definitely going to get into it. But for now, we'll just say go Lakers and thanks for watching.